Good morning, everyone. This is Gail Dudley with your news in motion. Today is Tuesday, the 1st of June, 2021. So today is Tuesday, June the 1st, 2021. Come on in the room, y'all. Come on in the room. Good morning to everybody. Good morning. Let me know that you are here because I want to see you. It's been 4 days. I want to see you. So, good morning, Kenya Noel. Good morning, sister. Good morning. How are you? Good morning, girl. Good morning, Deborah Sneed. Good morning to you. Good morning. It's a beautiful day, no matter what it's looking like outside. Every day is beautiful. Good morning, Marion Jackson. Good morning, Stephanie Burbridge Hall. Good morning, Cherie Wallace. Good morning. Yeah, we made it through half the year. That's what I'm saying, Kenya. Good morning, Amanda Smith. Good morning to you, y'all. Good morning to everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Kimberly Graves. Good morning, good morning, Lori Wallace. Good morning. Hey, it used to say Lori Williams Wallace. All right. Y'all be changing up names for me on here. Good morning, Diane Ladybug. Good morning, girl. Good morning. Y'all, I have a confession. I miss y'all when I'm not on, okay? I just miss y'all. I miss y'all. I miss y'all so much. But I've enjoyed making sure that self compassion and self care is taking place because I'm asking you to do the same with you. Good morning, Jacqueline. Good morning. Yeah, we have so much news to cover today. Good morning, Deborah Johnson. Deborah Johnson, y'all, has been on, I think it's been like 3 or 4 weeks vacation getaway. She's just enjoying herself as well. Welcome to everyone who maybe this is your first or second time joining us. Good morning to everyone out there in YouTube. Good morning to everyone on every audio from iHeart to Spotify to Apple to Amazon Music to Apple to TuneIn to Stitcher. I'm sure I'm going to forget some of you, but good morning to everyone. Good morning, Tony Morrison Smith. Good morning. Yeah, we have so much news to cover. Today's segment is going to be a little different. I decided to do something different today with everything that has just been happening over the last several days, and especially the 100th remembrance of the Tulsa Race Massacre. So that's really where I'm going. Yeah, you're right, Deborah. Vacay and self-care is good for the soul. Without it, I think we can fall apart. Good morning, Patricia Newton. Good morning to you. So, y'all, I took a different direction. The team and I agreed wanted to take a different direction today. So do me a favor, y'all. Do me a favor, as y'all know, as we shared, we're going into our 1 year. Can y'all believe it? 1 year on June the 21st. I've been saying the 22nd, but I was told it's the 21st. We're going into our 1 year on June the 21st. So we're so excited about that as well. Good morning, Shirley Nicholson. Good morning, Hazel Johnson. But during that week that I was off, we were doing different videos, and then we did a state of news in motion of where we are. So I need everyone to take that share link and share it out to someone, invite somebody to come in and join us. So if you would do that, I would greatly appreciate it. But yeah, we're going to we got some deep news today. We have some deep news. So go ahead and hit that share button, invite people to come in and join us. And as you are doing that, y'all know we got to get started, right? So let's go ahead and get started. So we're back. And as I said, we wanted to really take time today to talk about just a little bit, to talk about the Tulsa Race Massacre. As you know, yesterday marked 100th day. And today would be like day 2 of the massacre continuing. So we have some pictures that we received courtesy to show from PBS, from Tulsa World News, and from Tulsa History. And I just want to take our time and look at some of these. And I see some of you coming in. Oscar, good morning. Good morning to Kenny Stanley. Good morning to Kim Edmondson. Good morning to all of you. Good morning to Cassandra Rose. Good morning to Tracy Burrs. But I just want to slow things down for a moment today and look at some of these images that we have. Good morning, John Gore. Good morning, Dr. Kim Carter. Good morning, Regina Short. So yeah, we're just slowing it down today because, and I'm going to build off of this today. So just stay with me. So that's one of the images. Another image is here. And again, this is Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Tulsa race massacre. And again, we have these images courtesy of PBS, Tulsa World, and Tulsa History. Good morning, Riakis. Good morning. And then we have another image here. We have another image that we wanted to show you this morning. Yeah, I want you to take this in. We have another image. That's the church, which I'll be talking about the church in the inspirational message today. You know, sometimes it's good to slow down a moment just to see. Here's another image. And once again, we get these images from courtesy of PBS, Tulsa World, and Tulsa History. And then finally, we have another here. Just to give you an opportunity to see what's here. Yes, I agree with you, Latrice. We should never forget the Tulsa massacre. Never. I watched the History Channel Saturday night, I believe. Maybe it was, Saturday night. And then watched some other programming on PBS on last night. And there's more tonight. And I see Kenya's talking about a special on CNN, Dreamland. That was good. So yeah, y'all, that's a lot. That's a lot. So I want to show you all this. I want to show y'all the quote we're going to have this week. And I thought it was fitting when we received this quote from C-SPAN, where it says, "I have never seen justice. I pray that one day I will." And that's Viola Fletcher, 107-year-old. So last week, the last living survivors of the massacre testified before Congress, urging the United States not to forget the damage done. And again, yesterday marked 100 years since the start of the Tulsa race massacre, when mobs of white residents, encouraged by city officials, attacked Black residents and businesses of the Greenwood District, also known as Black Wall Street, in Tulsa, Oklahoma. This was an image. I'm a part of this group on Facebook. And this gives a larger quote where it says, "I will never forget the violence of the white mob when we left our home. I still see Black men, sorry y'all, being shot, Black bodies lying in the street. I still smell smoke and see fire. I still see Black businesses being burned. I still hear airplanes flying overhead. I hear the screams," she said. "I have lived through the massacre every day. Our country may forget this history, but I cannot." Again, that's Viola Fletcher, age 107 years old, survivor of the Tulsa race massacre. So 100 years ago today, on May 31st, 1921, the Tulsa race massacre began and continued through June the 1st, 1921. 1921. So, what a struggle, right? It's like, I can make this, I can get through this, because I cried all weekend long. But I want to go, and again, this is going to be a different take today, because still today, June the 1st, 1921, although we're at June the 1st, 2021, so now this is 101 years, they were still under this fire, this shooting, this destruction of, again, Greenwood District, which is also known as Black Wall Street. And I heard several people say, and I really agree as well. I've heard several people say, we're still trying to overcome that which has happened as Black people. We have our businesses, and we struggle. We struggle. There's so many Black people, and I'm talking specifically African Americans today, that are struggling with their businesses. Let's just be honest. Um, we have our own people who choose not to support Black businesses, and we want to know why. Then we hear things like, "Oh, it's price gouging." Well, our demographics and our financial sheets look different, so it's not really price gouging. Now, does that happen in some circles? I'm sure it does, but that doesn't mean we should discount every Black person who is a Black business owner. How we look for certain standards when it comes to Black and brown businesses. And I want to challenge you all this morning, because even as this is going on, we have a governor of Oklahoma who is doing something totally different. So here's my call to action today. My call to action is to make it a point to educate someone in your family, church, community, your local school system about Black history that is not included in school curricula today. And it's so interesting because I can't count how many people I have either talked with or they inbox me or something asking me if I was going to do something on the show today and saying that they had never heard about this. And they look like me. And I'm like, what are we missing? And it's up to us. It's up to us to make sure we are educating our people, whether they're young or old. And here's the other thing: do not shame them or make them feel guilty for not knowing. Because depending upon where you went to school, this may have never been talked about in the first place. And now, even with the 1619 project, they're trying to shut it down. They're trying to shut us up. So we have a responsibility. Y'all know News in Motion is relevant commentary with a call to action. So this is the call to action today. Again, make it a point to educate someone in your family, church, community, local school system about Black history that is not included in school curricula today. We have a responsibility to do this. It doesn't stop there. I want y'all to take a few moments. I really debate if I was going to show this or not. But I have this call to action today because of the governor, Kevin Stitt, Republican, who signed HB 1775. And y'all know, again, HB stands for House Bill. SB stands for Senate Bill. I'm going to keep saying that. So signed the bill, HB 1775, into law that bans teaching of critical race theory in schools. So this is about 2 minutes, but I want you to hear his words, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about it. And again, share this video. Share News in Motion today.
My fellow Oklahomans, Governor Kevin Stitt here. I just signed House Bill 1775 into law. Now more than ever, we need policies that bring us together, not rip us apart. And as governor, I firmly believe that not 1 cent of taxpayer money should be used to define and divide young Oklahomans about their race or sex. That is what this bill upholds for public education. Verbatim, it reads, "No teacher shall require or make part of a course that one race or sex is inherently superior to another race or sex." To be sure, we must keep teaching history in all of its complexities and encourage honest and tough conversations about our past. Nothing in this bill prevents or discourages those conversations. In fact, this bill clearly endorses teaching to the Oklahoma academic standards, which were written by Oklahoma educators and include events like the Oklahoma City bombing, the Tulsa race massacre, the emergence of Black Wall Street, Oklahoma City lunch counter sit-ins led by Clara Looper, and the Trail of Tears. We can and should teach this history without labeling a young child as an oppressor or requiring he or she feel guilt or shame based on their race or sex. I refuse to tolerate otherwise. During a time when we are already so polarized, we cannot revert to 100-year-old thinking that a person is any less valuable or inherently racist by the color of their skin. Martin Luther King spoke of a day when people in America would be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. House Bill 1775 codifies that concept that so many of us believe in our hearts, including me. And as governor, I will not stand for publicly funded K-12 schools training impressionable minds to define themselves by their sex or their race. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the great state of Oklahoma.
Now I share that video to help us unpack it. And I know we really can't do that here. So if you are a News in Motion member on Patreon, we're going to have a different discussion over there this week. And we will be filling that information in over on our Patreon page later today, giving you the date and time. So again, if you are a member of News in Motion on Patreon, that's patreon.com/News in Motion. We're going to unpack this a little bit more, but I'm going to spend some of today to talk about it now. Y'all, he had buzzwords. And when you're in the media, when you're researching, I'm sure you already know this, there are buzzwords. Of course, he's going to throw in Dr. Martin Luther King. Of course, he's going to throw in Black Wall Street. Of course, he's going to throw in certain things to make you think, oh, that's not too bad. But if that's not too bad, then why did you sign into law a bill, HB 1775, preventing this type of teaching going forward? Why wouldn't you use taxpayers' money to educate the students? Who's oppressing whom? Now that this has come out and we want to talk about it, y'all want to suppress it. You don't want anyone to know what really happened. So it's really a spot of protection. But this is what I love, y'all. This is why I like social media. Oklahoma City Public Schools board head Paula Lewis, one of the critics of the bill. Now remember, she's in the office with him. She knows what the bill says. She knows what's all in there. And by the way, y'all, Paula, as you can see, she's a white woman. She's one of the critics of the bill, tweeted her dismay about it being advanced earlier this week, slamming it as an outright racist and oppressive piece of legislation. She doesn't stop there. She had a whole thread, y'all. She goes on and talks about what's all involved in here. And she talks about our history as a country and as a state, if told accurately, is uncomfortable and should be heartbreaking for Americans that look like me, white. She goes on to talk about the only way forward as a country and as a state is for all of us to have hard, uncomfortable conversations, to acknowledge the truth, apologize for the actions that stem from not knowing, and do what we can, both individually and collectively, to atone for our actions that have contributed to the oppression of our African American, Hispanic, Indigenous, and other people of color, brothers and sisters. So there was her tweet. So she kind of like threw him under the bus by giving the truth as to what was in there. So here's my question today. If I can ask a question today, is not even really a question. Just use this thread to share your thoughts. Because y'all, we have a responsibility as Black and brown people, including white people, because I know I have many friends and family who tune into News in Motion. We have a responsibility, y'all, to teach the truth and to keep raising our voices and keep letting the world know about us. I shared with y'all last week, and yeah, I can get very passionate about it. I shared with y'all last week that it's interesting that every year, every time an elected official or at that point a candidate is asking us to give them our vote, they talk about we're going to pass voter rights legislation. We're going to pass the For the People Act. We're going to pass the John Lewis Voters' Rights Bill. And yet we are still in this fight. It's as if we just can't breathe. We can't break free. They keep using us as leverage to pass other bills all around them. but yet we still sit back and we're waiting for legislation to be passed. Again, I am calling on Senator Chuck Schumer of New York to destroy the filibuster and pass the voting rights bill. Get your foot off of our necks. That's where I am with this today. Get your foot off of our neck. So share your thoughts. What can we do as Black people? Even today, y'all, this is 2021. 2021. Where's the Black hotels? And don't just name me the one or two or three that are out there. I know they're out there. But where are more? More. And now the narrative is, well, y'all got one as the VP. Really? We got one as the VP? Oh, okay. You had a Black president. Really? Really? So just one and that's it? We have more work to do. The retail stores, the malls, the restaurants, y'all, we need to frequent. I'm not saying give up the other places where we go. The investments, where are we investing? What ownership do we have? And let's start sharing those resources so that we can grow collectively. Y'all, we have a lot of work ahead of us, but we cannot throw in the towel at this point. We have to keep going. And I know that you're probably listening to all of this saying, wow, that's a lot of stress this morning. Well, I want you to breathe. Yeah, that was pretty heavy today. So I wanted to break it up by giving us 20 seconds to breathe and to relieve our stress. So here's some good news. This sister's not playing. We're talking about bold moves, and this image is courtesy of ABC 7 News. We must see more of this. The city of San Francisco has announced a plan to redirect $3.75 million from its police budget to Black-owned businesses. And this is a Giro reporting. Her name is Mayor London Breed. Hello, somebody. She made the announcement in a statement Wednesday, May the 5th, saying, across this country and in our city, we have seen how Black communities' economic growth and prosperity has historically been disrupted and marginalized. This funding, here's a direct quote, this funding is part of our efforts to undo the harm of generations of disinvestment and economic inequalities. As we work to recover and make San Francisco a better place to live, work, and do business, we have to invest our resources in a way that lifts up and supports African American small business owners, entrepreneurs, and the entire community. Again, this is, they announced that they're redirecting $3.75 million from its police budget to Black-owned businesses. Hello, somebody. We need more of her for sure. And then we also have, if we want to get some international news in here today, people are calling on the Olympic Committee to cancel the Olympics. And this image is courtesy of BBC. ESPN is reporting a major Japanese newspaper has come out against holding the Summer Olympics scheduled to open in Tokyo in less than 2 months. The national newspaper in Japan to call for the games cancellation and following growing from calls of Japanese business leaders to scrap the already delayed Olympics, giving the country's the latest COVID surge and poor vaccine drive. Public polls also show a vast majority of people in Japan opposing holding the events. For its part, the IOC says the games will go on. And again, that is ESPN who's answering that. So a lot is going on. A lot of heavy things are going on. And then we ran into this that I want us to talk about. And then we're going to go into the numbers for the win. I promise you we'll be done soon. So y'all, we have Instagram and Facebook, and this image is courtesy of CNET, that's CNET. All Facebook and Instagram users will be able to hide the likes on their posts. So my question to you, not a question that you have to necessarily comment today, but is this the answer? Facebook has been testing the option on Instagram as a way to address mental health concerns, particularly among teenagers. Now the company will expand hiding the like to count all billions of its users on both platforms, but as an optional feature. Instagram likes are an important audience engagement metric. So what's happening is if they hide the likes, what's going to happen with the influencers and what's going to happen with the matrix, and how can we combat this? So is the answer to take the likes away, or is the answer to build up individual people? And I don't know. And they're going back and forth. They're saying that likes can be a distraction. And then not everyone who uses Instagram is looking to build a huge following. But what about those who are using it for their business purposes? What about those who are paying for advertisement? So there's this back and forth going on with Instagram. And they're also looking at the diversity and the disparities of Black and brown people and our Caucasian, the white population. So there's so much going on there as well. So again, Instagram and Facebook, how are we going to deal with that? And what does that look like? The coronavirus recovery numbers are 27 million. Woo! Yeah, y'all, 27,863,840. Again, 27,863,840. Let's celebrate that recovery, please. Because if you saw my post on yesterday, I was in Giant Eagle. I live in Central Ohio, and they were giving away wipes for free. Talking about people are past and this over. And I'm like, what is going on? So that's the recovery number. Speaking of the coronavirus, y'all, let's lift up Jakeithia. She is having surgery today. You know, she's my counterpart here in the U.S. for getting people scheduled for their vaccines. So with all of that, I want to go back to this beautiful soul, Viola Fletcher, for the win. She gets the win. Again, she's 107 years old, and she's a survivor of the Tulsa Race Massacre. As I shared with you all earlier about her quote and what she was doing there in Congress, it's just important, y'all, that we just celebrate her because she's saying, I have never seen justice. I pray that one day I will. And I pray that she will as well. She gets the win because she's never given up on justice and she's never stopped praying. She gets the win. I'm going to leave her up here as I talk about the inspirational message. I just want y'all to see this woman. Y'all, the inspirational message, having a life of prayer. Having a life of prayer. Hundreds gathered on Monday for the interfaith service, dedicating a prayer wall outside the historic church. And I'll put that back up there just for a moment. That's the church. It's Vernon African Methodist Episcopal Church in Tulsa Greenwood neighborhood on the centennial of the first day of one of the deadliest racist massacres in the nation. National civil rights leader, including Reverends Jesse Jackson and William Barber, joined multiple local faith leaders offering prayer and remarks outside the church that was under construction and largely destroyed. When a white mob descended on the prosperous Black neighborhood in 1921, burning, killing, looting, and leveling a 35 square block area, estimates of the death toll range from dozens to 300. Reverend Barber, a civil and economic rights activist, said he was humbled even to stand on what he called holy ground. He goes on with this quote and says, "You can kill the people, but you cannot kill the voice of the blood." And I thought that was powerful. I thought that was very, very powerful. Although the church was nearly destroyed in the massacre, parishioners continued to meet in the basement, and it was rebuilt several years later, becoming a symbol of resilience of Tulsa's Black community. The building was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 2018. So again, Viola Fletcher, Miss Viola Fletcher, she gets the win, 107 years old. The inspirational message is, y'all, we have to live a life of prayer. Yeah, we can get very frustrated. We can want to throw in a towel. We can want to give up. Y'all, we get spit on all the time, whether it is physical or just someone making a comment as they pass by. But y'all, I believe as Black and brown people, I'm talking about African Americans, excuse me to my other brothers and sisters, but I want to talk specifically to African American brothers and sisters today. Y'all, there's something on the inside of us that keeps us going. And I can only imagine that it's the presence of the Lord. He keeps us going. He knows our heartbeat. He knows what we feel. He knows the struggles that we may be having. Y'all, when we're down, have y'all ever noticed this? There's something that stirs on the inside of us to get us back up and to get us moving again. There's something. I believe God, when he was uniquely making each of us, I know that he already knew that we were going to run into trouble. And he gave us an extra measure of faith that I believe no one else has. Because I don't know about you, but it's like, man, we're survivors. Slavery, we survived slavery. You know, there was a way out for those who were still living. And there was a survival mechanism. Even the fact that they could be beat, our ancestors could be beaten the way that they were beaten. They could bleed out. And many of them kept going in the heat, picking cotton or doing this or doing that. Then we have this massacre. Then we have, if you want to bring it closer to home, I know the time is running out. Then we have Black and brown people, our Black brothers and fathers and uncles and cousins and nephews are being shot and killed in the hands of the police. And we protest and we keep marching and we're able to breathe, but then we cannot negate, we cannot skirt, we cannot ignore the Black on Black crime that we're dealing with. There's something in our history that needs to be rooted out. Anyway, I said I wasn't going to do this today, but anyway, we have to keep breathing. We have to keep moving. We have to. So with that said, because I can tell I can't get myself back together anymore today, stay well and remember, make some moves.